So my name is Gautam Paliwal, and here we will start our journey with the computer engineering, and here we will learn about the basics of the computer. So first of all, I will introduce myself. I am Gautam Paliwal, and I am an associate software engineer. Yeah. Here we will learn about what is the computer, and after that we will go step by step and all the concepts. Very here, here I here we will just cover the summary of the computer. If you are not a graduated and even in you are the school, you can watch this video. And if you are already knows all the concept, if you think, and then you can play the videos on very fast forward in two speed. Otherwise, you can generally skip the video if you want. Here is just the basic summary of the what is the computer, how actually the works, and what is CPU, RAM, and the basic terminologies. Not even all the terminologies and prerequisites we are covering here. So let's start. Right. So what is the computer? A computer is an electronic machine that takes input, processes it, and gives output. It runs on instruction usually given in the form of software programs. So computers is just electrical machine that takes the input and process it and give output. It's just like a servant, right? And if you are in home and you are telling maid, right? If you are giving some instruction the kitchen, you want some like food, dal, chawal, and whatever you want from that maid for today's dinner, right? You gives input by ordering them, and then she process, and she made the delicious food, and then we will then just deliver to our that makes right make it. Eventually, what is here meaning is it takes the input, process it, and gives the output. Yeah, it's a. I just trying to explain you in a very different way. It's just like the maid, and even you can take a lots of example. I can say, suppose you make some request to in a image download and movie download on particular website. You just click on the download button, and it takes the input your click, and then it processes it and it gives out like it's loading or downloading images or a movie, and it's completed, then it notify you that your download is completed. It's all about the computer. That computer is what? Computer is just it's a very simple electrical machine that follow our instructions in simple terms. Yeah. So basic computer knowledge and summary. Main parts of computer is the hardware and software. Hardware is the physical parts of the computer. Software programs and operating systems that run on the hardware. Operating systems is a very important concept. We will cover all about the operating system in particular playlist we could make. Yeah. Basic hardware components: CPU, RAM, hardware, monitor, keyboard and mouse, motherboard. You can take the screenshot from my screen even so it's easy for you for revise. And types of computer: operating system, application, software, utility source, input and output devices, keyboard, mouse, scanner, webcam, microphone are considered as the input devices, and monitor, printer and speaker are the outcome devices. So input devices just like it helps to input means we can make the instructions for the computer. From keyboard we type yeah coding and yeah and whatever like a program. From mouse we click. From scanner we can just make a scanner. Webcam it's just a camera. Microphone it's listen or voice. It's a input device and output device. The basic, if you like, it takes input from the input device, it's processes it and gives output from the output devices. So let's move ahead. Main parts of computer. CPU. CPU is the brain of the computer. Yeah, without brain, nothing here. CPU is the brain. CPU has two components, ALU and CU. ALU, arithmetic logic units, stands for, and handles mathematical calculations and logical comparisons. Control unit, direct the flow of data between CPU, memory, and other devices. There are instruction cycles in the CPU that makes sense that how the actually the CPU understand and actually the things are working. It has the steps. It's first fetch and then decode and then execute. Fetch, decode, and execute. You can understand from. I can clearly explain here. The fetch is the CPU grabs and instructions from memory. Think of like reading a recipe step. Decode it figures out what the instructions means. For example, add 2 plus 3 or store this number in memory. Execute. The memory performs the adding numbers or moving data. Adding numbers, sorry. It may also send results to memory or another data. Here is also I consider the example if the instruction is 2 plus 3, the CPU adds them and gets the output, right? 2 plus 3 is the input, CPU processes some steps, and then after the what is the output? Output is a 5. It's basically the computer. Computer is just to follow the instruction whatever we provide the input and it just gives the output. Memory is the RAM. It is a temporary memory. It is not recoverable, and when the switch is off, it clear all the data and whatever it stores. I'm just making the summary of all the concept in depth. We will go and we will learn what very depth concepts in further videos. For here, this video is just a prerequisite. So basic summary, we can also tell the revision there, right? I know the some of the concept you already learned in the 10th, 12th, and even the college. Even you are not familiar with the computer, I know that the concepts some you already know. But many of the few YouTube tutorials covers this all concepts. So I am preparing some basic and I'm preparing the foundation of computer. So actually, how do computer understand us? How the computer actually understand us? Computer understands only the zeros and ones language, means the binary language. And how actually the follow the instruction? Actually, whatever we write, it converts into the zeros and ones, and then computer understands, and then computer follow the input instruction, whatever we provide, and it processes it, and then it gives our the output in the binary, and then it converts to the human readable language, human readable way, so we can understand what the output is. Yeah, and for this process, there are the things we have developed like compiler and interpreters, which makes more easier, makes something more easier to communicate with the computers. Right? We are not capable to remember the long zeros and ones numbers. Yeah, in the very before the 2000, the computer is actually the so let me show you. In the before the 2000s, there are the size of the computer is very large. Eventually, we use the entire room, right? And then after it's become the more less in the size. And nowadays, it's just the laptop and computer and even the smartwatch and everywhere is the computer, right? Now the role of the compiler and interpreter. You can learn the everything I am writing, and I am just I don't read here everything. I'm just don't read a textbook in front of you. I am just adding these notes and some summary for you can capture the screenshot. You can write in your notes so it becomes easy. So programming languages to communicate. As I told you that zeros and ones is not capable to us to remember all the things. So since writing in zeros ones would be impossible for humans, we use programming languages. Example Python, JavaScript, C, HTML. Thought HTML is not a programming language, but these languages are much easier for humans to read and write. The role of the compilers and interpreters. A role or interpreter is a special program that translates our code into the machine language binary. This is the normal small example of the JavaScript like console.log. We do the console.log, then how actually it works. Software acts as a translator. A software enables apps, browser, games understand the code. That code is translated by the operating system, browser, or CPU into the machine instruction. The machine instruction tell the hardware what to do, like show message, play sound, or move the sound, move the mouse. How the actually the software helps here and takes participate in between the process of how actually the computer understand that what we want here, right? Hardware executes the instructions, right? Software, what the software does is software understands the code. That code is transmitted by the operating system or browser into the machine instruction. Machine instructions means binary language. Machine only understands the zeros and ones. So hardware executes the instruction. Once the instructions are in the binary, means machine instructions, the CPU, GPU, and memory etc. follow them step by step. For example, you click a button, then click sends signal, JavaScript detects code runs and update what you see on the screen. So basically, here is our first video what we have done here. We understand that what is the computer and how it actually works, how what is the CPU, what is the RAM, and how actually understand and communication happens in of the humans and the computer. How actually the computer understand us that how what we want from computer, right? So basically, we are just cover here the basic terminologies, and our goal is just making some easier and simpler concept to you. So thank you for watching this video, and we will go beyond of this all the concept in